Team CMF, what's up guys? Welcome to my office, and today we have something very important to talk about. So today's video is going to be on the topic of finding a good bar versus finding bad bars. So a quick little debrief. I believe that about 95 to 99% of all bars on the market are glorified candy bars. There's very, very little bars out there that have actual real ingredients in them and that the nutritional labels are beneficial for recovery. So today, guys, I want to give you some pointers on how to read the ingredient list, how to read the nutrition facts to find the perfect protein bar. First off, guys, I want to introduce the 3 bars that I'm going to be talking about today. We're going to start from the best bar down to the worst bar. So a bar that I've been having recently after my workouts is called the Muscle Up bar. So let's see if it zooms in on that. There you go, you can kind of see the package there. So the Muscle Up bar, grass-fed, pasteurized, raised, whey, and sweet potato. The best bar in my opinion. We'll get into that later into the video. Second, the middle of the road bar, the bar that's kind of tastes like a candy bar but also has some beneficial ingredients to it. A perfect bar. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this one before. Tastes pretty good, ingredients are decent, a decent bar. Okay guys, here is a full-blown candy bar that claims to be a protein bar. The Big 100 Colossal Met RX bar. So I didn't actually buy it, but I printed out the nutrition facts. That's what the bar looks like right there. Full-blown candy bar, falls under the category of all or majority of the 90% of the bars on the market. So next, guys, let's get into the ingredient lists of each of the 3 bars. I lied, guys. First, we're actually going to go over the nutritional facts of the bar. So the nutrition facts, guys, are that little box. So when you guys look for on a bar, you got a bar, it's that little box that says nutrition facts, little box in bold black letters. So first, let's go over the nutrition facts on the Muscle Up bar. So something that's extremely important to justify whether the bar is a glorified candy bar or an actual protein bar is the amount of sugar to protein ratio. So if there is more sugar in the bar than there is grams of protein or close to it, then that bar is a glorified candy bar. It is a piece of shit bar and you should not eat it. With that being said, the Muscle Up bar has 8 grams of sugar to 15 grams of protein. Okay, perfect. So another thing that I wanted to justify, I don't actually have a Quest bar here with me, but when it says like 0 sugar, but it says like 20 grams of sugar alcohol, it's the same fucking thing. Sugar is sugar. Sugar metabolizes the same in your body, whether you get it from fruit or you're drinking it from a soda. It's gonna all metabolize in the same fucking way. So sugar is sugar, guys, regardless. So if you see a bar that has more grams of sugar than it does grams of protein, it's a glorified candy bar. So let's keep going on with the list of nutrition facts that you guys should see. All right, so Muscle Up bar has 8 grams of fat. Grams of fat doesn't really matter per se, as long as it's not over like 10 or 15 grams of fat. So this one has 8. 8's a perfect range. If you can find anything between like 8 and 12, that's a perfect bar for you right there. All right, now let's go into the carbohydrates. This is where things get a little, it actually depends on what style of working out that you are doing, that you should choose the bar and the carbohydrates in the bar accordingly. So if you guys are doing high intensity workouts, aka like CrossFit, interval training, sprinting, anything that your heart rate is up really high and you're taxed at the end of the workout, you should have a bar that's decently high in carbs. So a good ratio to go by is 2 grams of carbs to every 1 gram of protein. So that's why I like this bar a lot. I do a lot of high intensity work, so I try to find bars that are 2-to-1 ratio, 2 grams of carbs to 1 gram of protein. So this one has 31 grams of carbs to 15 grams of protein, so that's a 2-to-1 ratio. So continuing If you guys are just doing weight training, it's not too intense. You guys probably want to find a bar that's a 1-to-1 ratio. So 1 gram of carbs for every 1 gram of protein. For example, 20 grams of carbs to 20 grams of protein. That's a perfect ratio for you. All right, so that's pretty much going to wrap it up for the nutritional facts side. So once again, let's review. You're looking for a good bar. You're looking for about 8 to 12 grams of fat, and either a 2-to-1 carb to protein ratio if you're doing high intensity workout, or a 1-to-1 carb to protein ratio if you guys are just doing some simple weight training. So the nutritional facts, those are more simple. It's gonna get a lot more, we're gonna get a lot more in detail when we start talking about the ingredients list. All right guys, so next let's talk about the perfect bar. Bam, that's the perfect bar right there. All right, so let's have that focus on me. Good. All right, so the perfect bar, let's go over the nutrition facts. Okay, so we have 18 grams of fat in this bar. Remember what I said before, anything over about 12 to 15 grams of fat is a no-go for this bar. The reason being that this fat content is so high is it's a peanut butter. The main source is a peanut butter. So that's why the fat is so high. All right, moving right along, let's go right into the sugar. Remember what I said before, if the sugar is higher than the protein or about the same, it's a glorified candy bar, and it is not a protein bar. So we have 18 grams of sugar for 17 grams of protein. So there's 1 more gram of sugar than there is grams of protein. So this bar, glorified candy bar, pretty shitty. Not gonna wanna have this bar. So, going along with the carbohydrates, 26 carbs to 26 grams of carbohydrate for 17 grams of protein. So it's closer to 1-to-1 ratio than it is a 2-to-1 ratio. But regardless, guys, I wouldn't eat this bar just because it's 18 grams of sugar to 17 grams of protein. And the reason that this bar is empty, guys, is because my girlfriend had it. I didn't need it. But anyways, guys, yeah, this bar, out the window. Once you see that the sugar grams is higher than the protein grams, you ain't buying it. All right, the big 100 bar, the MedRx bar, the bar that most of you guys will probably flock to if I lined up all 3 of these bars into one aisle. Why would you guys flock to this bar? Because it's marketing that it has a shit ton of protein in it. So most people think more protein, more muscle. It's a great marketing scheme. So let's start right off into the nutrition facts on this big 100 bar. This one is the closest probably to an actual candy bar than anyone I could find on the market. So we'll start off with protein. It has 30 grams of protein, 47 grams of carbs, so it's closer to a 1-to-1 ratio than it is a 2-to-1 ratio. If it was a 2-to-1 ratio, it would have 60 grams of carbs. Regardless, guys, that's still a shit ton. That is probably too much protein. You want to find a bar that probably lies between 15 and 25 grams of protein. And for carbs, I wouldn't have anything much over 30 grams of carbs post-workout. That 45 grams of carbs is way too much for your body, and your body will store that extra energy as fat. So let's get into that big part, the theme of finding a good protein bar when you're looking at the nutrition facts. Is the sugar greater than the protein or close to? So there is 28 grams of sugar in these bars, and like I said before, 30 grams of protein. So pretty much the same thing. I would throw this bar right in the garbage. If I got a sponsorship from MedRx and they said that they would send me bars, a bar a day, I would say sorry, I don't want your bar, because literally this is a candy bar, not a protein bar. Will not help you recover. Will not help you recover properly, is a better way to put it. And the fat, 12 grams. So the fat lies in the right range of 10 to 15 grams of fat. The carbs are way out of proportion. The protein is over, and the sugar is pretty much the same as the protein. So this bar, throw it out. All right, guys, so next we're gonna go into the most important part of finding a good bar, the ingredient list. Alright guys, I know these clips are kind of long, but I'm trying to give out like really good information for you guys. So I hope you guys are taking notes. I hope you guys are all taking this in, rewatching it, just so that you guys can find the perfect protein bar for your recovery. So let's go over the ingredients of the Muscle Up bar. There you go, finally it zooms in. Oh, is that upside down? Yeah, it is upside down. There we go, zooms in. Alright, so let's go over the ingredients. So the first ingredient in every ingredient list is what the bar contains most of. So this one right here, the Muscle Up bar, contains most grass-fed whey protein. So that's what we want, right? We want, like, the consistent theme that I'm trying to give here is you want things that are from the earth, that once lived, had to be killed, once were picked off trees, once were grown from the ground. So grass-fed, cow is grass-fed, healthy cow, protein comes from the cow, right? Perfect, that's what we want, and that's the number one ingredient in this list. What's the second ingredient? I'd say the top 5 ingredients are the most important ingredients. So let's go over the second ingredient. Non-GMO, GMO stands for genetically modified, meaning that it was made in a factory, so non-GMO, so not made in a factory, from the earth, prebiotic corn fiber. So, natural. Non-GMO, comes from the earth, corn, obviously grown. All right, the ingredient number 3, a sweet potato. Literally it says sweet potato. Another thing, grown from the ground, from the earth, something that we all need to be taking in because our body understands how to metabolize it better. The faster it can metabolize it, the quicker it could be used as energy for your recovery and for your workouts. All right, number 4, non-GMO again, so not made in a factory, soluble tapioca fiber. So that's good. Now let's go into the 5th and final ingredient. So the top 5 ingredients are the most important, remember that. Organic almond butter. Almond butter, almonds, they're nuts, they come from the earth, grounded up into organic butter. Great, perfect. This bar, good, A+ in my opinion. The top 3 ingredients are all from earth, or top 5, sorry, ingredients all come from the earth. 100% in my book. I eat this bar all the time after my workouts. Alright guys, next we're gonna get into the perfect bar. Okay, so this bar is like the top of the middle of the row bars. So like the middle of a road bar would be like a Quest bar. This one would be like the top of the middle of the road bars. So why is that? Because all the ingredients are organic, but even some organic ingredients contain a lot of sugar, contain a lot of fat, and all that good stuff. So with that being said, let's go over the first ingredient of this bar. The first ingredient of this bar is peanut butter. So peanut butter, we all love peanut butter. It's all extremely tasty. That's why they put it in the first ingredient of this bar, so that we come back to this bar all the time and eat it. Peanut butter is high in fat. It's high in healthy fat, but peanut butter is also high in sugar. And peanut butter is lower on the spectrum of protein. So first ingredient, extremely high in fat. Some of the fat is healthy, some of the fat is not healthy. Second ingredient, organic honey. Honey, in the simplest terms, is sugar. Pure sugar. So even though it says organic honey in the second ingredient, right away you gotta think honey equals sugar. That's why this bar has more sugar than it does protein, right here. All right, let's go into the third ingredient. Organic, non-fat, dry milk. Okay, that's not bad. And the rest of the ingredients, guys, are all like oils. So that's why this bar is so fat and so high in fat. It's tons of oils. Fat is good for our palate, meaning that people like the taste of fatty foods. So that's why this bar sells, because it's so high in fat, high in the quote-unquote healthy fats, but it's too much healthy fats. We don't need all this healthy fat. That's why this bar is garbage. It's too much healthy fat. Fat tastes good to us. That's why this bar sells. Also extremely high in sugar. Once again, more sugar than protein. So once I saw that organic honey is the second ingredient and that all the other ingredients include some sort of oil, like flaxseed oil, organic sunflower oil, sesame oil, organic olive oil, organic pumpkin seed oil, just tons and tons of oils, I would throw this bar right out because I know that there's just too much fat in it, and that fat is making us come back to that bar because it tastes good. All right, guys, let's get into the most fun bar, the Big 100 Colossal MedRx bar. So the MedRx bar, these are the ingredients that you're gonna see in probably 95% of most bars. And that's why you guys shouldn't eat or rethink what you eat when you guys do buy bars. So first off, when you see an ingredient list that is longer than a chemistry experiment, or if you're reading words and you don't understand them, throw that shit right out because you already know that there's tons of chemicals in there, tons of additives in there that do not promote healthy recovery. All right, so let's go over some of the ingredients in this ingredient list. The first and foremost is a protein blend. All right, we don't have to get too much into that. The second ingredient is corn syrup. Corn syrup, we all know, is probably one of the worst ingredients. These are like, corn syrup is what you find in Gushers, fruit roll-ups, gummy bears, anything that like literally is horrible for you, that's what you find corn syrup in. So that's the second ingredient. So remember, the second most popular ingredient in this bar is corn syrup. Just think of that. The third ingredient in this list is high fructose corn syrup, so even worse for you than regular corn syrup. So once again, those are all in candies, gummy bears, gummy whatever things, just all that shit is literally corn syrup. So once again, that just justifies that this is a glorified candy bar. So the fourth ingredient, guys, is sugar. So think about that. The top three ingredients, or the top four ingredients in here are absolutely horrible for you. Okay, we're moving right along. The fifth ingredient is pretzels, and the first part of the pretzel is enriched wheat flour. So when you guys see that something is enriched, it just means that it was processed, and it means it was horrible for you. So even though that it's wheat flour, it's not natural wheat flour. It's enriched, so it was factory made, it was processed, and it's just garbage. So once again, if you see enriched, throw that shit right out. The next ingredient is salt, and then we have some vegetable oils, more corn syrup stuff, just a bunch of shit. But you don't even need to go that deep into the ingredient list to know that this bar is bad. The top 5 ingredients include sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and corn syrup. So once I see that, I know that bar isn't good for me. So that's gonna wrap up those 3 bars. We're gonna get into the final clip here. I hope you guys have learned a lot. If you have, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, join the Team CMF family, and start learning more information about the fitness industry. Alright guys, I thought we'd get a little change of scenery over here. I brought you guys into my bathroom. But yeah guys, I hope you've learned a lot about bars, picking the right bar, what to look for in bars. So I just wanted to review a couple things, a couple of key notes that you guys should take home with you about picking up a bar. So when you look at the nutrition facts, remember, if the sugar is higher than the protein or close to it, that bar is no good. For fat, you want to go between 8 and 15 at the most, that's pushing it, grams of fat. For carbs, I wouldn't do anything over 30 grams. For protein, anything between 15 and 25 is good. For ingredient list, guys, look at the top 5 ingredients. Make sure that those ingredients are coming from the earth. Make sure those ingredients are non-GMO, organic. Make sure those ingredients aren't corn syrup, sugar, or anything like that, high fructose corn syrup. And also, even if they are organic, see what they are. If it's organic honey, if it's organic agave, remember, those are all just sugars, natural sugars, that still are gonna digest in your body, metabolize in your body the same way that a normal sugar or factory-made sugar would. So, guys, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said in the last clip, hit that subscribe button, join the Team CMF family, and let's get better together.